Welcome to the Quarterbacks Room. We're glad you're joining us. It's been a hot minute. We wanted to let the dust settle from the NFL draft before we kind of went in and gave a little bit of our analysis of it. But just a reminder that the Quarterbacks Room is brought to you by Florida Football Prep. That's Florida Football Prep for all your football needs, whether you need customized fan gear or some of the best training around. Contact Florida Football Prep. That's www.floridafootballprep.com. That's www.floridafootballprep.com. All right, Miles. So the draft happened, and you had some predictions initially, and you had some thoughts on who was going to go where and what was going to happen. I thought it was pretty interesting because a lot of your initial picks, while they may not have been on the right team, they were in the ballpark as far as picks went. So did you learn anything in particular from this draft, or were you surprised by anything in the first few picks?
Not really. I kind of expected half of the players to get picked in those round in like the early top 10 and stuff.
You know what I found was interesting is I might as well just start out with this. So the coverage, if you tuned in to ESPN for the coverage, it was all Shedeur Sanders all the time. And I blame Mel Kiper Jr. for this directly. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Deion paid him some money to hype his son. But what I think is really important to look at with this is that how many players got their stories told during the draft? Or better yet, how many players did not get their stories told during the draft because Mel Kiper Jr. kept going on and on about Shedeur Sanders?
Multiple.
And it's like Cam Ward went number one. Cam Ward was a 0-star recruit to college. 0-star. He worked himself up from nothing to be the top number one pick in the NFL draft. And who did they talk about when he got picked? Shedeur Sanders. The number 2 draft. Well, they talked about Travis Hunter quite a bit. And knew Hunter was going to go high. And I was really surprised that Jacksonville traded up for him. But that's actually kind of cool. That means they really want to use him. And I think they kind of looked at it as 2 picks to 1, right?
Yeah.
Because they're planning on playing him on both sides of the ball. We'll see how that works out for him. But it was kind of interesting. Genty going in the first round. What do you think about that?
I mean, for the Raiders, I don't know if it was. I think it was kind of like a mid pick because I just know that they don't have an O-line. They don't have like any O-linemen. I know that.
So yeah, and a lot of people were thinking they were going to go quarterback also in the first round. What I also found interesting was, you talked about this. And we'll talk a little bit more about Shedeur Sanders here. Everybody, he's first round, he's first round. You called this. You said he's got a lot of weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you have him going? What round did you think he would end up going? Or what round was his skill set at?
Mid-third round, late third round.
So he slid a lot further than even you thought he'd slide. Look, the guy's got some skills, but he also has some flaws that are going to play out in the NFL, that he slid all the way down. But I think what was interesting is, who was your number 2 quarterback?
Dart.
And Dart went to the Giants. And that was interesting because everybody thought that Sanders was going to go to the Giants in the first round because they desperately need a quarterback. But the Giants head coach is on the hot seat. If he makes a bad pick in the first round and he picks the wrong quarterback, he's done, and he knows it. A lot of rumors out there about what happened with Sanders and him.
Yeah.
Was it they had like an install that they put like some obvious mistakes in, and supposedly Sanders didn't catch him, and he didn't even study it. And then he reacted poorly when he was called out on it. That is the rumor, guys. I don't know this firsthand, but it's everywhere. Then there was a rumor that he deliberately tanked some interviews, and so yeah, does he have skills? I watched him play. I watched him kick UCF's butt really, really well. But again, UCF was trash last year, so I mean, it's like playing an FCS school almost. The whole thing about conspiracy theories about NFL owners getting together to put him down and all that stuff, that's BS. I will tell you straight up, there is no NFL owner that will not pick a quarterback that's going to win them a Super Bowl, period. They don't care. There is no conspiracy. There is no nothing else. They are all in it for money, okay? They want to make money. And right now, with where Shedeur Sanders is, being a fifth-round pick, quite honestly, he has to worry about making the team or being on the practice squad, because they took who in the third round? Cleveland.
Dillon
Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel, who was, by the way, everybody keeps saying he's terrible, but he was only first-team All-American, all-time leading touchdown passer in NCAA football. The guy is, yeah, he's jumped around a lot. He was the pioneer on NIL, jumping around and making money. I give him that. I watched him play as a true freshman and just destroy defenses as a true freshman. The guy's got the best looking deep ball I have ever seen. I mean, he's just an amazing, amazing thrower of the football, amazing quarterback. And you remember watching Dillon play, don't you?
Yeah.
What stood out to you on him?
Mostly his deep ball.
But and he gets the ball out quick. That's one of Sanders' biggest faults, was he holds on to the football too long. So he'll either hold on to the football and take the sack or run out of bounds. He won't throw it away because, again, that goes back to stats. I'm telling you right now, the guy was worried about his stats being high for percentage completions. And he would not throw the ball out of bounds. He'd take the sack and run it out of bounds. But anyway, so what other surprises did you see in the draft?
I mean, I didn't really expect RJ to go in the second round. I didn't really expect that at all.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying he'd be like a fourth, fifth round pick.
I thought he was going to be like a third round pick.
He went ahead of a lot of running backs that were forecasted. He was in the top 3 or 4 running backs that went.
Yeah.
There were a lot of guys still on the board that everybody thought, he'll be like, they're way better than him. Anybody that thinks that some of these other backs that weren't picked earlier are better than R.J. Harvey has never seen R.J. Harvey play football. That kid plays with more heart and soul, has more speed, breakaway speed, more vision. Remember, he used to be a quarterback, right? He was recruited to Virginia Tech as a quarterback.
Virginia.
And he changed position when he came back to UCF. So one of the things about quarterbacks is what? They have great
vision.
So they have great vision on the field, and that helps him as a quarterback. Or as a running back. So he can see the hole and he sees what's going on and he reads the defenses. So I'm telling you right now, I expect great things from R.J. Harvey in the NFL. Denver, you got a steal on that one. What other big hot topics of the draft did you have?
Nothing really else.
It was really sad because it really came up until Shedeur Sanders got picked.
Well, I didn't really expect Jalen Morrow to get drafted in the third round. I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, I know, right? That was a weird pick too.
I thought he was going to go in like 6th or 7th round.
Well, here's what's really interesting. So who helped work with Shedeur Sanders? Who helped train him?
Cam Ward? I know. No, he trained with him.
He trained with him.
Yeah.
But who helped with Shedeur Sanders? Do you know?
No.
His first name starts with a T and his last name with a B.
Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. What football team is Tom Brady a part owner of?
The Raiders.
Did the Raiders take Shedeur Sanders?
No.
They need a quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
That tells you something right there. I remember I saw a video surface where they were talking about buying a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady's words were directly, I think you need to worry less about cars and spend more time in the film room. And it was like, that was pretty telling to me. But, guys like Mac McWilliams that went the draft pick right after Shedeur Sanders got zero coverage at all.
Yeah.
Zero. Guys, a lot of guys got their limelight, their chance in the sun. There's their spot that they've waited their whole life for, just trampled on by some of these announcers that wouldn't stop talking about Shedeur Sanders. Look, I like Shedeur Sanders. Everything I've seen about him, I had no real issues with the guy. I actually think Coach Sanders, his dad, Prime, is a good coach. I think that he instills values in these kids. But I will tell you that the announcers made so much of it that they destroyed the draft experience of all these other kids. And I feel really bad for them for losing their spot in the sun. Here's another interesting thing. Who has been Shedeur Sanders' coach forever?
Dillon.
His dad. What do we call it when a coach has his son at quarterback?
Daddy ball.
Daddy ball. So for the first time, at least for now, in Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders will have to compete for the starting position. He's not going to be given it. So as a fifth-round pick, like I said before, he's got to worry about getting on the roster.
He's probably a little worried about making money. A lot. He's probably really worried about making money.
Why?
Because, it comes to me that Shedeur really just wants a lot of money.
Why? Why do you say that? I'm very curious. Now, we haven't ever talked about anything like this, so I'm really curious. So why?
He buys a bunch of, cars and stuff. He buys, chains to flex that he's legendary. And he spends a bunch of money on stuff. Never really on football and stuff.
I find that funny because, again, we've never discussed this, ever. And that's interesting that that's your perspective. Now, granted, I've always told you to be humble. And, yeah, but wow. That's an interesting take. What else? Oh, did you see the video where he was with Cam Ward?
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about cutting a rap song. And Cam Ward's like, yeah, no, I just want to play football.
Yeah.
Just want to play football. That's all I want to do, play football. That is that the kind of guy you want on your team?
Cam Ward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And that, again, the best story that was not told this year that they didn't get into very much was Cam Ward's. And I feel that he had his moment stolen by some of these announcers that were focused on a narrative that wasn't real, wasn't backed up by facts. It's just, I feel bad for him. So we'll see how all this pans out. When the only a few more months, and I think the rookies are showing up this week or something, aren't they?
Yeah. So
we'll find out real quick where stuff lays in Cleveland and across the NFL with some of these draft picks. And I'm looking forward to preseason so we can really see who gets out there and who can show up and who shows up, who shows out, and who's gone. So it'll be interesting to see. So what's been going on with you other than us talking about football a lot? Training, and
golf,
and you just finished basketball season too, right?
Yeah.
So he just finished basketball season. It was his first year actually playing organized basketball. One of the neatest things seeing Miles be able to do was throw a basketball the full length of the court and get a really long pass to somebody that was wide open underneath the basket. So if you are a basketball coach and you need somebody that's able to do that, find your quarterback. If he's not playing football or if he's not playing basketball team already, on the basketball team already, get him out there, have him get into the game, and it could be a help for you. And then you're playing golf. You mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
So How's golf going?
250-yard drive today.
Okay, let's get this straight. 11 years old, hits a driver 250 yards. That's unreal. I mean, the coach was telling me today that you're probably the best kid at that academy, and you only play one day a week, because he only goes to golf lessons one day a week, and then the rest of the time is spent on football. And for that skill set, that's pretty amazing. But I do think that golf helps you with your core for football, which is pretty cool. And then what's getting ready to come up?
Tackle season.
Tackle season is getting ready. We're getting ready to train for that. So we have a camp coming up. Miles plays for the Winter Park Tigers, and it's a Pop Warner team here in Central Florida. And we have our spring camp coming up, which is the second year we've done it. It's really kind of unique because we bring kids in all ages, never played before, have played before, and it gives them a chance to not only learn fundamentals from it's 6 days long, learn fundamentals at the beginning of the camp. Then we actually get them in pads on day 3, teach them how to tackle, how to be tackled. Then we work pat routes. We work blocking techniques. We work handoffs. We do basic plays, and then we end up doing a scrimmage on Saturday. So it should be pretty fun. And by the way, if you are interested in signing up for this camp, if you're in Central Florida and you think you're your kid, I think you can still sign up. But it's May 12th through the 17th,
I think.
17th, 18th, and it's a great experience. It's like $150, but you get coaching and you get to use the equipment and everything else. So it's a great experience. And I'm sure if your local teams have something like that, get your kids out there. If you think your kids want to play tackle football and they're not sure, sign up for a camp like this, because they will know after this if they have what it takes to play tackle football, because they're going to get hit. They're going to get tackled, or they're going to tackle. And it's a great experience, and it's a learning experience for everybody around. So I hope people get involved in stuff like that. And then, of course, we start right after that. We start hardcore training for going into the fall season, and the fall season kicks off for us the middle of July this year. It's starting earlier, which is great. And then, of course, regular football, so college football, high school football, all that's going to be kicking off as well. So it's going to be a fun year.
Mm-hmm.
You looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Cool. Just a reminder, the Quarterbacks Room is brought to you by Florida Football Prep. We've got great fan gear. So if your organization doesn't have any fan gear for parents, brothers, sisters to wear, shoot us a note, and we'll actually create it, put a site up for you on our shop, and your parents, your brothers, sisters, your kid, we even have some stuff that's good for the athletes, can go in there and they can pick out what they want. Quick shipping within, you'll probably have it from shot to bang in about less than 2 weeks. So, and it's high quality stuff, and we haven't yet been hit very hard by the current economic issues with China, and because a lot of our stuff isn't made there, but the it's good gear. It's high quality gear. Miles wears a lot of it, and I'm using it for the coaching gear for Winter Park this year. So let us know. Go to www.floridafootballprep.com. That's www.floridafootballprep.com. And especially if your team needs fully prepared footballs that are the best around, that'll give you that edge when you're playing in that game, go to our site, because we'll do those footballs for you, and they'll come back, and it's just an amazing difference. You don't want to play tackle football or go into your season with a brand new ball out of the box. Anyway, with that being said, buddy, we really haven't been watching any of the other, not a whole lot of the USF or UFL.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's still looking like a good product. There's a lot of teams tied at like 3-2, 4-2. It's a little bit more of a mix-up. The Stallions are struggling a little more than they did in the past.
Yeah.
And they've had some quarterbacks. I think they've lost 2 quarterbacks so far this season with injuries. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Haven't really been following the Arena League as much as I did, because they shut down our local team here, and the team Miles' former coach played on. He's not on it anymore. So it's just the lack of interest, and quite frankly, everything else we've been doing around here, it's kind of made it hard. I don't know. Any final words?
No.
You never have final words. That's kind of the final word is no every show. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you again next time in the quarterback's room.